Now, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to draw a topology what I'm about to do. So let me open, what's the best way to do? OneNote. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so you are able to see my screen. Please let me know, and please one of you guys monitor the chat line. If anybody cannot see, let me know so that I can act on that.
What's the number, please?
There is no number. You just go to uberconference.com/voicebootcamp. It's wide open. Welcome Aziz from Kentucky. Come on, how's it going there? Okay, so I will log into my Office 365 to open OneNote. You're in?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
That I don't know how we done that.
Sorry?
Google Conference.
Google Conference is fine.
Yeah, now this is for me. This is not.
Just keep joining, but not join yet.
So what I'm going to do, when you have an AWS account, initially you are given a default, what we call a virtual private cloud. It's like your own data center, okay? VPC, they call it. So right now we already have a VPC that is the default one, but we're not going to use that. We're going to create our own virtual private cloud, and anything that we do, we're going to do it on that network, okay? So think about a virtual private cloud is just like your own data center, okay? And then you're going to put networks inside that room. So that virtual private cloud is like a room like next to me, that computer room. Now, obviously, nobody can get out of that virtual private cloud by default, okay? So we create our own virtual private cloud, and that one for me is going to be my production. Now, inside that virtual private cloud, I can have as many network I want, which is subnets. So you can say network A1, network 2, network V. You can call it network for sales, network for engineering, however you want to call that. I'm going to create two networks there in that virtual private cloud. I'm going to create one subnet and second subnet. So this one is going to be publicly accessible. Second one is going to be private subnet, meaning nobody can access that subnet from outside world. Okay, why I want to do that? That the question is, why should I do this? First of all, public network is where my web servers are going to be. And the private network is where my database is going to be.
Two of them have said they're not able to hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Cannot hear me. Oh. How about now? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Anybody?
It's fine now.
Goof now? All right. No worries. Okay, perfect. Yeah, unfortunately, in a remote training, sometimes we have to face this type of problem. So, bear with me. So, as I was saying, that we are going to create our own VPC. This is called VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. in that virtual private cloud, I'm going to have two subnet. Let's call this, you can call it a public subnet, private subnet, doesn't matter. You can call it alpha, delta. You can call it West Coast and East Coast, totally up to you. Any name you want. But there is a key factor that both of these subnets are going to have their own unique address, IP address subnets. But one of them is going to be publicly routable, other one is not going to be. So what am I going to do with the private? I'm going to put servers there that are not going to be accessed by outside world. What servers? Database. See, I will have my web server, VoiceBootcamp web server right here, which is accessible by the customers worldwide. But the database will remain inside, and only the web server will talk to the database, nobody else. Make sense? Only the web server will communicate with the database, but nobody else. But that part we will set it up today like that, but we're not going to be needing it because my website already has its built-in database. But I'm going to create the subnet just for you to show you. Okay? But then in order for us to access this, we need to assign IP addresses, correct? Now what we're going to do when we define our virtual private network, you must select an IP range. So let's say we're going to select 172.0.0/16 subnet, class B network. This is an IP address block for class B. It's a private addressing mechanism. So let's say this is a block of IP address that has been assigned to the whole data center, not a subnet, but the whole VPC. Inside that VPC, I can break it down this into a smaller network. Okay? So for example, my cloud VPC, not PVC, 172.16.0.0/16. Now underneath that, I'm going to have public subnet 172.16. Maybe we could say 10.0. 24 is a public, and private subnet 172.16 11.0/24. Those are my individual subnet.
This is just assumption, right?
Huh?
This is just assumption.
It is example for sure.
For the public is not like 172.16.10.
No. Don't go by the word public here. That's just my own interpretations. But they're not publicly registered address. Correct. Does that make sense to everyone online? I haven't heard a yes or no. Is anybody even responding?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to log into my AWS. These are the part you can also follow me if you have your AWS account. So I'm on my AWS console, and the first thing I'm going to do is create the cloud. Okay, everybody should have their own cloud. You can have as many cloud you want. It's free. Cloud is free. So, or you prefer to watch, that's fine. VPC, I'm going to search for it, and I'm going to click on VPC product. And it's going to give me a list of all the VPCs that I have. Right now, I have only one VPC, that is my default one. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch a VPC wizard at the top. It's going to ask me, do you, VPC instance runs in a private isolated section of your AWS cloud, and you can only create network of /16 with the /24 subnet. So VPC has to be 16. Okay, that means whenever you assign a VPC, this subnet has to be 16, but this IP block, but the subnet within the VPC can only be 24, which is more than enough anyway. Okay, nobody has that. Now, okay, so I'm going to select. It's asking me what is my IP address block. So I'm going to choose 172.16.0.0/16. Okay, let me max. Is it better? Okay. Now, so it's telling me the public subnet is not within that range, because it is 172 and it's showing default 710. So it has to be in that range. So let's call this 10.0/24, because it has to create one subnet at least. VPC name, let's call this VoiceBootcamp Data DC North Virginia. This is my data center in North Virginia.
So last time you said like you need to be a local, right?
Right. So
Why Virginia
because
is cheaper?
VoiceBootcamp's primary customers are actually in the US.
Oh,
Right? So majority of my customers are actually in the US. So if I want to serve US, and Virginia is the most cheapest one price wise, so it makes sense for me to put it there. Okay, actually VoiceBootcamp. Sorry,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, these IP addresses, how we decide what IP address to okay.
Okay, so there are three different class of address available for us to use privately, meaning that we could use these address without dealing with internet. Okay, the address that given to us has three different classification: class A, class B, class C. Class A address is 0.0.0/8 bits. Like, I don't want to go into IP subnetting in this class, but just to give you an idea. And class B will be this, and class C is 192.168.0.0/24. These are the different addresses that we can do. These are the three range of address we get to choose. Now, class A address will give us approximately some millions of hosts. 65,000 networks on millions of hosts, which we will not ever need. Class C for most businesses will probably classify for, because class C will give you the most network but the lowest number of hosts. So this is what we can use from our range there.
Okay.
Okay. So for now, we're going to stick to class B as I recommended. We're going to choose a VPC name DC North Virginia. As you can see, I choose /24. That gives me 250 IP address I can choose. So 251 IP address mean I get to have 250 IP devices, computers, servers, whatever.
Internet network.
Yes. Now you notice a block supposed to give us 256 IP. So we can, what happened to the first 5? The remaining 5. So first of all, 2 IP addresses are blocked for broadcasting and subnet addressing. One of them is for your default gateway. Okay? And the 2 of them used by AWS for, one of them is for future use, and there's another one that AWS use for some special function purposes. Monitoring or
only
some,
for the AWS environment,
only for AWS environment.
but rest is only 2.
Rest is only 2. So subnet name, we're gonna call this public subnet. That's the top one that we're trying to create. Of course, you can go and add more subnet if you want.
I'm just getting like a why there is in public subnet.
Okay, you can call it a server VLAN.
Yes, that's
You can call it server VLAN. Doesn't matter. Server, network, server VLAN.
because public, I mean, like it's not 177.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Enable DNS hostname. Yes. Hardware tenancy. If I say default, that means my instance is going to be shared. If I say dedicated, means the server is going to be dedicated to me. So is my wallet to them. Okay. Because it's going to cost me more money. All right. Everyone good? Now, if you are going to use IPv6, then you can say allow Amazon to provide IPv6, which is the next IP addressing concept, but we won't go into that. I can select one but not use it. Okay. Now, availability zone. I'm going to choose US East 1A. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So North Virginia, it automatically choose my region as a North Virginia from here. You see that at the top? If I change to Ohio, suddenly everything changed. See, number of availability zone reduced by 3. Every region has different number of availability zone. So if I choose, let's say India, Asia Pacific, Mumbai, only 2. Okay. Now, the reason why I choose North Virginia, one is A is cheaper. B, anything that happens new gets tested there first. Okay. So I gotta retype this whole thing again.
Also, it depends on who are accessing to your web server, right?
Well, the selection will be based on who are you accessing your web server, correct? Okay, North Virginia, 72.10.0 will be my first subnet. And then we're going to choose the first available East Coast subnet. We'll call it server VLAN so that people don't get confused. And we're going to click on create VPC.
So one question. So it's like a US East.
Yeah.
Zone, yeah. So it's our server VLAN is only available on that zone.
Right.
not on the another
Subnet can only belong to one availability zone. So I can a subnet can only belong to one availability zone.
So when that zone is down, we are not able to.
Then I gotta have a second instance pointing to the second availability zone. Yeah.
So in that case, it will charge more, right?
Of course. You will be surprised how much they can charge you. Okay, everyone good? Okay, let me connect to my webinar from my laptop phone as well so that I can see any problem people might have over conference. View control chat. All right, perfect. Okay, so now what I have done so far is created this box right here, the VPC. Inside that, I have created the first one. Okay, so let me redraw that with proper naming so that again we do not get into problem. Let me see if I can draw that box. Where is the box?
Are you recording this as well?
Yeah, everything is being recorded. New section. I guess no. All right, let me put that in again. So this is my VPC with a block of 172.16.0.0/16. Inside that, I have server subnet. So this is a subnet for all my servers going to be that are publicly facing. Okay. So next I'm going to do is create, I'm going to go to subnet, and you notice there is two subnet. One is for my default, another one server VLAN for my VPC one, North Virginia. See that? Right there.
So why it got the default in the LAN?
Well, every time you create an AWS account, the default is already there.
So it's like a 2 IP address always?
Separate network. Totally separate, totally isolated.
Not the different IP address, right?
No.
Only the subnet only.
Correct. Now, one other thing is, so now that I have a subnet called server subnet, the question is, how do you assign IP address to any server that you create on that? Now, obviously, we need a public address to access that, right? Without a public address, we cannot access that server. So if I select that particular server subnet, and I will go to modify auto assign IP address, this will allow any instance that you create on that subnet to automatically assign a public address by Amazon. So every server you create, Amazon is going to give you public address for free. So I'm going to auto assign, and I'm going to choose this option. Otherwise, it will create the subnet, but I cannot access it. Okay. Now, what did I say? So in order for subnet to be accessible from internet, we must have a gateway. Internet gateway, right? Just like a router goes to the internet. So far good? All right. So right after subnet, you have something called internet gateway. See that? We're going to create our own internet gateway, which is, it seems like it's created already. See that? VPC is already created because we run the wizard. Okay. Otherwise, you can say create, let's say my test gateway. And when you create an internet gateway, you notice the status is detached. That means that gateway is not attached to any VPC. It's like, what is that gateway? Like a Rogers modem or Bell modem that comes to your office. Okay, that's the internet gateway. We need to associate that with our VPC, attached to VPC. But we don't have any VPC left because default one is already created and VoiceBootcamp one is also created. Okay. So that's why you will see that this one already assigned to the VoiceBootcamp one right there. This internet gateway. You can detach it if you want to. So if I go and I say I can detach. Right. Well, I make myself work more. All right. Now, in order for you to send a net call, traffic outside your office to the world, you need a default gateway, default route. You know, for those of us who are familiar with Cisco, you know you have a default route 0.0.0.0.0/000 pointing to a default gateway, which is usually the IP address of Rogers. So we need a default gateway for our server to communicate with outside. Now, before I go and do that, let's go create a server. Okay, I'm going to create Ec2 Server so that I want to test, see if I can access it. Why do I have an instance? Okay, I'm going to create a new one. I will call this WordPress. Select the first one. Continue. And I'm going to choose the free one. This is for testing purpose only. Okay? Testing purpose only. Configure. I'm going to choose the VPC VoiceBootcamp. That I want this server in that data center, not the default one or not the Chicago one or Mumbai one. I want this one in North Virginia data center. Subnet. Right now there's only one subnet, which is server VLAN. It's telling me how do you assign the auto public address. It's telling me that use the subnet settings. Remember, we just checked that option. Otherwise, we can simply say enable. Too. That will also work. Now, anything else I'm not going to touch. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And it's going to ask me, next is storage, hard drive. Now, on a free edition, I'm only allowed to create 30 GB of hard drive. More than that is going to cost me money. But because this is for testing purposes, 30 GB is fine. Now, tag. I can assign a key to that. It's like for security purposes. So I'm going to call this tag name. We'll call this test instance. Just an identification. You know, like when you buy a server, it has a server tag on the side. That's what it is. Okay. Security group. What are the traffic that are allowed? Right now, SSH is allowed.
Everything is allowed.
No, SSH, HTTP, and HTTPS only allowed. But everything is allowed from everybody, which is 000. So these are the only 3 servers I can access on that server. So it's protected. By default, my server is protected. Now, a security group is not a firewall. On the network, this is not a network firewall. A security group is like a, Microsoft Defender or Zone Alarm, like securing your laptop. That's what the security group is. So there's multiple layer of security. Okay. Sorry.
Yes,
Can you remove HTTP? Sure. Just
don't need it, right?
yeah, I won't touch it right now, but yes, you don't need. You probably don't. So now I can change this name. I can call this VPC Test Security Group for DC, North Virginia. Okay.
So after, like, for example, with this 000/0, anyone can access to that server, and from that server, they can access everything.
Right.
From anywhere.
Right.
The world.
Let's say I want to give a specific access only to a special port. Okay. Now, I have a software that I run on my server that allows me to do remote management. And the port that it uses is 23077. It's a TCP port 2377. I use that port for my personal access. Okay? But I want to access that only from this office. Nobody else. So first of all, I need to find out what is the IP address of this office. So I go to Google. What is my IP? That is my IP address. Anybody in this office, VoiceBootcamp, that goes to internet, that is the IP address is visible. Everybody in the world sees that IP address. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to add a rule. Custom TCP, custom protocol, TCP, TCP protocol. Custom TCP rule. Port number 2377. Okay. Custom IP address only from my IP block. That port can only be used if anybody goes from this office. Nobody else. Faisal's personal access to the server. Okay. Everyone following it? Online team? Swati, Mohammed, Aziz. Who else do we have?
Yes.
Sounds good. All right. So now we're ready to launch the product. So let's go ahead. Oh, I'm going to go one step back. I'm going to add a rule. I want all ICMP traffic so I can ping. I mean, without that, I cannot ping. So 0.0.0.00 worldwide for ping only, and launch. Okay, we're ready to go. Launch. Now I'm gonna create, this is very important. Okay, this key is like a password. If I want to access my server, I need this key. So I'm gonna make a key for every server I create, or I can use an existing key for everything. Okay, now I already have a key created called test VM, but let's create one new one. Let's call this VPC test key. Okay, I'm going to download this key and I'm going to save it in a secure location in that folder called key pair. VPC test. Now that key is very important. Without that, you cannot access your server, and I'll show you how. Launch the instance. Oh, bye. Invalid rule. Okay. Oh, type some sort of character was there. Go back to previous screen. Previous. Anything missing? Huh? Okay, we'll try again. I acknowledge. It's probably the apostrophe. Faisal's. I put a Faisal apostrophe S. That apostrophe didn't like it. Yeah, in description. It did not like that apostrophe. Okay, so it's done. Now all I have to do is wait. Okay, so as you can see, pending. So while this is doing, I'm gonna shut down this one. I don't want to get billed for unnecessary. Terminate. Okay, so now you notice how it gives me a public address. It also gave me a temporary domain name. Okay, I will copy this and I can simply, once it's up, I can simply put the web browser here and it should take me to that page, that server, which is currently a simple web page. After this, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be ready to migrate VoiceBootcamp. Now, to be able to access this, I must copy this or IP address, whichever works, and I want to be able to telnet to the server or SSH to the server. Okay. Now these are secure connection. It's a highly secure. That means everything is encrypted. So you need that key that we just downloaded. Okay. So I can't log in unless it's 100% initialized. So let's give it a minute. See, when I look at the AWS as a career, first of all, it's the networking and security is where you're going to make the money. Security and the networking side of it. Because other than that, all you have is just application management. That's it. Yeah, which is development. Development on the development side. That's another, yeah, for sure. But we're not a developer, so.
So AWS security is related with what we are learning.
Well, obviously security. There's encryption, and there's a key management, and there's a lot of things involved in there.
No, those are related with what we are learning at Cisco.
Okay, we're still waiting for the initialization to be completed.
Professional layer of network. So there is not a certificate. High level network and security they have. So there is the security of your entire data center, security of your devices.
Professional and then expert.
There is 5 layers of security.
Five?
5 layers.
5 or 4?
5. It's 5 layers of security in AWS.
Okay. While we okay, so it's finally passed all the checks. So now let me refresh this page, see what happened. It's not responding.
But with IP address it's responding.
Hmm?
With IP address.
Let me see. IP address, copy. Okay, so yeah, it just did came up, user block. Okay, so that is my server. And it's running from my own private cloud. Okay, now if I were to go back to my VPC private cloud, region, I got 2 region, so I'm going to choose the subnet. We're using the server subnet, so I'm going to go and create a database subnet. This is a private one, nobody's going to get access to that. So let's call this database subnet or VLAN, whatever you want to call it. What did you call it? Server VLAN or server subnet? Server VLAN. Let's call this database VLAN. VPC is going to be VoiceBootcamp North Virginia. It already got the block. I could put the database on Arizona. I don't have to be in the same availability zone.
So what is the advantage of that?
If in case that cluster goes down, yeah.
Okay.
But let's just stick to one area at a time, unless I understand the billing part properly. Now the IP address, it has to be something below the block, so I'm going to say 11.0/24, and I'm not going to touch IPv6, and I'm going to create that a simple subnet. I have it for 2 subnet, server VLAN and database VLAN. Let's just rename that so it doesn't confuse it. Okay, now I have 2 subnet for same data center, so it's like one computer room with 2 network. Okay, now I want to check you something. We already talked about the internet gateway, which is already created due to the wizard. But if I go to routing table holds the key. Now first I gotta find out which routing table. So I expand my VPC ID, find out this is the main routing table right there. See the main routing table, and I believe this is for one of the subnet. So I'm going to choose the main routing table, which is main, and if I go up here under route, no, right here. Sorry, it is using this routing table right here, subnet 1. So a routing table is a network routing table, just like a Cisco router. When you type show IP route, you see a bunch of route, right? On that, one of the route is called default network. 0.0 that says if nothing match locally, send it to this guy, which is your Rogers or Bell, whoever. Now you notice here we have one routing table at the very last end. It's called 0.0.0. I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to remove that and save. Now I'm going to go and try to go to the page. I can't access. Traffic is hitting my server. My server does not know how to get out.
Yeah, because it's only 0.0.0, but not
Right.
10.1 and 11.
Exactly. So I can hit the server, but I cannot get out from it. So this is why you must have a static route on your subnet routing table, where I'm going to add saying any traffic 0.0.0 wildcard anywhere in the world, send the traffic to internet gateway. That's how the call. If he does not know what to do locally, he's going to send it out the internet. And this is the internet gateway we have. And save.
And what is the IP address of gateway here?
We don't know. That's .1. .1.
.1, but it's not like a 10 and 11 from our.
No. That's why you can only associate. See, here's the thing. You can only associate one default gateway to your VPC, right? But what happens if that gateway fails? No high availability.
Yeah.
No high availability for us to deploy. But what Amazon is telling us, don't worry about it. We got you covered. So Amazon is giving you that assurance that that router is totally, fully redundant. But we can't see it, and they won't give us any assurance other than their word. Okay? So I put the route back, go back to my page, refresh it. Voila. You got your page back.
So what's the IP address of that server?
Okay, so what is the IP address of this server? If you go to that instance, it gives on the that's Amazon provided IP address. Now I will show you in a minute. So this is the instance. This is the IP address what Amazon provided to me. This is the IP address from my blog. Remember 10.0/24. That's an IP address.
Also, it uptick automatically. You didn't put that.
You could put it, if you want, you can put it statically.
Yes.
When I create the production one, I'll show you how to do that statically. Right now, it's all randomly a DHCP base assigned.
Yes, we base and
If you
from that one.
reverse ping it, what do you get?
Okay.
Minus A.
So if I want to do a ping, so let's see the pinging is allowed. So if I copy this,
Ping minus A.
voila, I'm able to ping it.
Minus A.
Minus
It doesn't resolve?
It may not resolve because it may not have a reverse zone set up on the Amazon site. But let's see. Maybe you have to put the A before, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's resolve it to that address. It's resolve it to this address right here, which is
minus A you said, right?
yeah, it's resolving to this address. And look at this address. Look at this. So whatever the name they gave me, I get to use that. Okay, so now we have tested it. We made sure that we have a data center alive. We have a proper routing alive. Okay, and to make sure that nobody attacked me on a ICMP stuff, I can, if I want to, I can block or delete that ICMP entry that I made, the rule, which I'll show you later, not now. No.
Just remove from that list and it will go.
I gotta go back to the instance. Security placement. Where am I? Instance. Oh, right here. Oh no, the VPC. My apology. On the VPC security group, right there. Come on. Right, which one was it? This one, North Virginia. inbound rule. I have this edit rule. I can go ahead and delete that and save. As soon as I do that, I try no more ping. Ping is one of the dangerous things that can use DOS attack against your ping. All right, so we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're going to show you how to prepare my server to migrate, and let's do a live migration.
Faisal,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I'm not getting this very clearly. So is there like any book or something I can go follow step by step and see them?
Yeah, I will send you the link.
And two more things when I was doing the labs, I came across some problems. I also sent you an email, but I got
Yeah, I saw that email. I will look into that. I got tied up with other work, so I will take a look at the problem.
and then when I was doing my third lab, there was a CLI thing which we have to install and configure. Without that, I'm not able to use that. That is also
Okay. Yeah, I will show you how to find that as well.
Okay, thank you. So it's 5 minutes back or
5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead. 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to choose Joomla called certified by Bitnami. Last time it was updated on April the 14th, 2019. That means it has the proper updated version.
You have to
Just-
buy that,
the instances have to pay for it, right? The package is free. So I'll select that. I'm going to continue. Now I can no longer choose the free tier. I'm going to actually choose what I want. So let's try this. General purpose, T2 medium, 2 CPU, 4 memory. Next, I'm going to choose the VoiceBootcamp DC North Virginia server VLAN. Automatically assign an IP address. And monitoring, we won't do that right now. Elastic, no. Now here it says, remember that subnet, the automatically assign. I'm gonna assign an IP address manually. Let's see. Auto assign, no. 142.16.10.100. I think 24. Oh. Is not a valid number.
193 before, right?
Sorry?
Before was 193 automatic DHCP.
No, it was. Okay, we'll let it run right. We'll assign it later. So next, I'm going to add storage. 100 GB. Delete on termination. Yep. Delete on termination. No encryption required. Add. Sorry. Root volume SD1A. Snapshots taken. Server tag. Let's call this name VPC server. Security group. So this is going to be my own. I was going to call it VPC web server. This is it. Okay. So I got SSH, I got HTTP, I got HTTPS. So for now, that's good. And actually, I'm going to add one more, which will be custom rule 2377. I'll keep it open for now because I have to log in from anywhere in the world. Okay, for source personal access. Okay, launch. Okay, your instance is not configurable for free tier. To launch instance that is your free tier, no, I don't want to. Security. Okay, so that means it's going to cost me money. That's what it's giving me warning for. Okay. Now I have to find out how much it's going to cost me. I think that part will come later. So let's launch it. Let's see how much it's going to cost me. I'm going to create a new product key because it's a VoiceBootcamp's production. I'm going to call this VPC key. Download. Let's see what happened. Immediately, as soon as it's done, I'm going to check my billing. Okay, I want to check my billing. So let's go first see the view instance is VPC server production. So while that is happening, let's go to the billing storage. How much am I expecting the cost to be? So far, it looks like $13 a month. No, that's so far this month. Why? Okay, $12 for registration.
$25 a month, right? So
No, that was for the $12 was for the domain that we purchased last week.
yeah.
That was it. So my budget, my cost explorer.
The instance not yet ready. I think they will.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the instance to be finished. So let's take a quick 5-minute break for the instance to complete, and then we will explore. Once it's up, all we have to do is do the data transfer. Okay, another 10-minute break, and we'll explore the pricing. And what you're going to do, you're going to select the VPCs. Okay, so I'm going to delete the test one because that's going to confuse the heck out of me every time I manage this system. So let me delete the first instance test. I don't need that anymore because this is now live. Okay. Now I want to check some information on this, and as you can see right here, a lot of information is available, and it has given me this IP address. But what happened if that IP address change? Okay, so I have the option to buy a static IP, elastic IP. Okay, that is guaranteed to me. Okay, and I can do that by going to elastic IP right here. I want an IP that will not change. Even if I delete my server, my IP remains to me.
So this is not for 3 years. This is for the IP address, static IP.
As long as I have the service, as long as I'm paying for it. If I take an elastic IP and I'm not associating with that to a server, then I'm going to pay for it. If I'm associating with the server, then I don't pay for it.
Oh.
As long as it's associated with the server. So I'm going to go to elastic IP and I'm going to say allocate a new address. I want to get one from Amazon because I don't own one. Okay? Some company, they do own one. Allocate. This is the IP address given to me.
For example, you are not going right now, so if you shut down and it will reactivate, then it will take
Possible. Yeah, possible. Yeah.
And if you,
Yeah. So not only that, even though that might be all the time, but what if I delete the server and recreate it because something went wrong? I deleted the server and recreate it.
yeah.
Then it's going to come up with something new.
Yes.
I don't want that. But as long as I have this IP address, if it's associated with the server, free. But even if it's not associated with the server, I'm only paying like 10 cents a month. Well, depends. There are petty pinching people.
Rogers will they charge $5 to $7.
Right. So this is the IP address is dedicated to me. So now I gotta associate that with what? Associate with something.
With your EC2.
With the EC2. So I go associate VPC server running, private address 107, which was selected. Allow elastic IP to be associated if already attached. Sure. If I need to remove it and put it back, a new one. Let's see what happened. Done. By the way, it is being recorded. Now, if I go back to my volume, EC2 dashboard, VPC, see, IP address change. It is now my public IP address. So at this moment, I can delete it, destroy the machine, recreate it. I can always put that IP address back. Okay? But before was dynamic. Maybe it was permanent as long as the instance was up, but still a dynamic. Okay. Okay. So I got that. I got this. Now, next, connecting. So now I'm going to start to click on the server. I want to go to action, and I got to find out. So the problem with these images, they're pre-packaged. So you don't know what the root username and password is by looking at any documentation. You got to look at the logs. Some of they put it in the logs, system logs. So you go to image instance settings, go to get system log. And then I got to scroll down until I find one. Usually they're in a box. I think at the bottom, right there. No. Okay, right there. They are in this box. So I can paste that in my notepad. No. Copy. That is the username and password. Username is user. This is the password. So now I'm going to see if I can telnet to that. Not telnet, SSH. Okay, so I got the So I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to this IP address. I want to secure CRT much better. I want to go right here. It's too small, isn't it? One second, let me increase the resolution. Okay, so I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to put that address there. I'm going to put the username. I think the username is going to be ec2-user. And instead of password, I'm going to choose the public key, the key that I downloaded. Right. Just choose the public key. And then I go to properties. I select that file, VC key. Click OK. Now, I think it's EC2-user or user. I'll find out. We'll find out in a minute. Double check. And the password is this. Copy the password. Let's see what happened. Accept and save. Public key for the server has failed. Verification password. Ooh. Maybe just user.
Can you open your notepad again?
1 second. Okay. Let me close it. Try again. It's probably user. VC key. That was the last one, right? VC key. No, something is not matching.
There is a we require the convert to regular key to the putty, otherwise
Yeah, putty.
secure CRT converter.
I tried that without it though.
Without this, I think not work. Here we go for and convert of that one authentication.
Sorry, where?
Like the putty, we convert of that one, right? Regular key.
Okay.
Convert of the
One
putty
second.
is not
You know what? 1 second. 1 second. Let me go to my VoiceBootcamp. Okay, so this is the VoiceBootcamp.
Yeah, sudo.
Okay, so I'm in my GoDaddy site, and I'm going to pw root vi. I'm going to open this text file, this key file. I'm going to open this key file in Notepad. Copy the content. And I'm going to call this vbc key.pem. Insert, paste, and save. So I've created the file on my server. I'm going to clear. Now I'm going to say ssh user at this IP address -i vbc key.pem. Yes. Okay, I'm in. I'm on my VPC. For some reason, so I might have to follow Swati's example of converting something stuff, but it works from my GoDaddy server to Amazon. Okay, so this
It's a bad permission.
So you, like how you went to the GoDaddy.
no,
server
hold on.
first?
It didn't take it. Oh no, it didn't work. My apology. Permission for C. Okay, CMOD 444. This file requires private key files on accessible. Oh, bad permission. Okay, CMOD VPC key. Bad permission. What key is being used? VPC key. Okay, so what we're saying, Swati, converted where?
Putty, that is like the regular putty we have downloaded, and that is convert on the PEM, because of putty is not understand the regular one, like.
So where do you convert? Where do you convert that? So I'm on Putty right now.
Yes, I'm looking the documentation.
Okay.
But just give me 1 minute. I just send it to you.
I just logged in before you guys came in from that room. It worked fine. Unless this is a. Let me read the log file one more time to make sure that I know I got the right details. Okay, the default application is called user. Password is this. That's the VPC key, fingerprinted. Yeah, the MD5 matches fine. Public key authentication with a server for user fail. No, there's some sort of key mismatching happening. Okay. Okay, so these are the host key, SSH host key. Okay, let me try the username root. Please log in as user Ubuntu rather than root. Okay, I'm in. So this is where my server is. Right now I'm in the server. See that IP address? 172.16.10.107. That is the IP address right here. Right there. Public. Okay, so I'm in the right server. So I can also log in from here now, but this is one of the this is basically a basic server that I have right now. Now it has a function called Joomla. Okay, to show you what Joomla is basically a content management server like this. Okay, with the Joomla. No, not that. I'm going to go to this. Okay, so that's the page. Now, I like to set up my own cPanel so I can manage the server remotely. Okay, remember that personal thing I said, 22377 port number? So there is a program called WebMin. It's a free, I can download it. I can download this or right click, copy the link, and I can say wget link. It's downloading it.
You're downloading it in your Amazon?
I'm right now on my Amazon server.
Oh, so they don't have cPanel in your.
No, they don't have a cPanel, so you have to build your own.
Oh.
So I have downloaded the file, which is sitting right here, root folder, called webmin 1.9 blah blah blah, right here. So it's a program. Now I'm going to install this. rpm-u webmin, voila.
When you downloaded this thing, you are in AWS?
I'm in the AWS server. I'm downloading it from their website. Okay, rpm. What? Okay, yum. I cannot install it. Okay, there's other way to install it. 1 second. Tar file. I think I have to use a tar file. Every program has a different. Red Hat use RPM, and I think Ubuntu use something else. Tar file. Okay, it's downloading. It says download will start shortly. Yeah, but I don't want to download it like the way. Okay. Let's see if I can do it this way. Install webmin in Ubuntu. Is it Ubuntu? How do you spell Ubuntu?
UBUNTO.
Yeah. Okay, how to install and configure webmin in Ubuntu Vertex. I'm not a Linux expert, but I figure a way. Okay, it's telling me to do this. Copy this sudo. Okay, it's telling me to follow this. So let's see what happened. I'm going to copy this. Okay. Get help, get replace. Okay, what happened now? First line, last line, next page. What the heck is this? Escape. Control X. Okay, that didn't work. This will open an editor. Okay, you gotta put this editor line, move the end of the file, paste, and order a lot of work. This is why I don't like Linux operating system. It's a lot of work I have to do. So I gotta go at the bottom and paste that. Paste, insert. Okay, done. Control X. Now Control Shift X. Modify, yes. Okay, so next what? Okay, done. Now type W to get this, whatever that is mean. Okay, it's done. Oh. No, there gotta be a better way to do this. This is nonsense. I'll follow this one. Okay. Sudo update. Okay, it's not working. Okay, download. The problem is this download takes me to.
Wait till I send you some commands through email
For what?
for Linux, what exactly required AWS.
No, it's not the Linux problem. It's the problem is I need to download an application into the server. This is the file I need to copy. They used to be providing a tar file. I mean, that's easy. Okay, so download page. That's the file right there. Okay, so download it. I need to type what? Gunzip. Okay. Okay, so now I have the folder, I'll unzipped it. Okay, so I'm in that folder right now. I'm ready to install. I think the installation is, I just have to type this command and it will install the application. But as a root, so what will be my password? I think this is the password. What is the password for AWS? So the root password, root user account on SSH is blocked usually. And because I have used a package rather than a simple image from AWS, so the instruction is different. So if you one sec, let me log back in. It says Joomla AWS. I gotta go to their documentation to get the login password. No, this Bitnami, that's the company that I got the package from. Oh, that's just a root. What is the root password? Oh, I think they have their own.
Well, the root password is similar like the instant password when we download it. When we do the create the key, we download it. That is like one file we downloaded that time, right?
Yeah, but that is that is an encryption key. That is not a password.
But that is when you do the one click mark for security, that the password and encrypted key both is available in the Excel sheet.
Oh, okay. In AWS.
Yeah, AWS when when you are like instant created or downloaded key, that time one file is there, right? We downloaded, and that time that is
No, this is the
when you
this is the file we created. We downloaded.
Yeah, open up that one.
Yeah.
Not that way. The Excel that is coming in the Excel. Okay. Create and download the Excel file is coming.
I don't think I've done that. Did we?
When it was created like the instant key created. When you create the key, we download of that.
Mm-hmm.
That is the must required for that.
Yeah, it says keep sending you the public key. That's all.
Yeah, and that is Excel sheet is not normal.
Oh, there gotta be a way. There gotta be a way. Okay, there you go. Obtain root privilege. Okay, so password change, but that's okay. Now I think I'm in the root. Okay, so nothing in that folder. Okay, where did we copy it? Now where's the file? Webmin tar file. I gotta copy this again. Yeah, I was able to change the password.
Yep.
Yeah. Not. Okay, so okay, let's see if it's going to run now. Okay, fine, it's working now. So I'm about to install an application. It's telling me which folder to install. So I'm going to choose the folder etc/webadmin. That is a Linux root folder. Log_var, keep it default. See, remember the port I choose, 2377. The default port they use 10,000. So I'm going to change it to 2377. Admin login, I'll call that admin. Password, VoiceBootcamp. Okay, done. Password safe. Now all I have to do is go to that address. So now I will choose my IP address. Where will my AWS go? Close it. Oh, right there. Sorry. EC2. Okay, copy that address and go to http://2377. Whoa. Now I may not be able, I don't think HTTP is open, so I'm going to say HTTP. It's giving me login page. Okay, so now I'm going to put my username, password. So this is my cPanel, control panel. So from here I can manage my entire server. Okay.
That means you can upload your.
This cPanel is where on the AWS?
This is actually on the instance, the server that we created. AWS do not provide cPanel for their customers' web server.
How do we access this from the instance?
Just by going to the IP address of your browser, go to that IP address of your instance, and then port number for 2377. Again, do not worry too much about this stuff, because this is not what your role is. This is what I have to do to transform my website. Okay. If you guys want to learn this, then you have to learn how to design website, how to do Linux administration and all of the stuff. So do not worry about too much about this interface. All I need to know that from here, this is what I do on a day-to-day to manage my system. Not the EC system, not the instance, but rather the software, the server. Okay? Because I hate Linux, bottom of my heart. I hate Unix. Anything but Windows, I hate it. But
frankly, I did not get anything, any of this thing with it.
No, this is, do not worry about you able to do this right now. All you need to understand what the capable is, what you are capable of doing on AWS. So what we're doing in the AWS today is we build a data center, which is VPC, right? Then what we did, we had a subnet so that we can do the routing. And then we have create an instance, we assign a public address, and we accessed it. Okay? If you try to master this by now today, you're not going to achieve that. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's going to be one step at a time. So far, since the last 3 classes, we have covered 3 things. We have covered EC2, we have covered VPC, we have covered S3, and we showed you what AWS is all about. What you need to do, everybody, is that link that I send you, the documentation, to click the topic, read about it, the lab guide that was given to you, practice it. Slowly you'll get there. Okay? You're looking at a solution that you're looking at that's been built on 12 years of work. I did not learn it in one day. It took me 12 years to 15 years to learn what I did right now in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So, Mohammed, do not just get discouraged. It will take some time. All you really need to know how to create the instance, how to maneuver it, how to log in. Focus on that. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And when we need to write the exam, like for...
You can write the exam tonight if you want to come in. You can write the exam tonight if you want to come in. Any day you want. Okay?
No, but
I would say...
stage, like when we prepare that much, we will be able to...
Yeah, I would say give yourself until May the 20th. Before that, we will finish the associate. At that time, you should be ready, and I will give you the test questions.
Okay.
Okay, and you can write it here at our location.
Okay.
All right. So this is what we're doing right now as far as the website. Okay.
So just like to see the pricing of what it comes.
I know I have to find out the pricing because I'm now a little bit concerned myself. Okay. So now I gotta log into my old website. But before I do that, let me find out if my database server is there. Where's my servers? My SQL server has to be there. MySQL. Okay, access denied. Okay, I have to find out how to give myself SQL access. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna have to continue this for next Saturday, because I think I'm gonna have to find out what their password for MySQL is now, which is the database server. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this video tonight. Watch it. Set up something like that on your account, only with the micro one, the free tier one, the free one. Okay, and you don't have to use the elastic IP address yourself. And I will try to find out, because it seems like if you look at it on the left hand side on the server, they're supposed to have a database server, many other things, which I have to customize it right now. And if I try to show that to you, you're gonna have to learn database and everything. So what we'll do next Saturday, we'll complete the transfer. In the meantime, you read that EC2 document, build this same thing that we just did on a free tier. Does it make sense, Mohammed?
Yes. So where is the document you just gave me out?
If you okay, I'll send it again.
Okay, thank you.
You see, this is what you have to do for production. This is what you're going to do. You're going to build a network like that, although it's a small company, VoiceBootcamp, but you're going to do it on a bigger scale. So all you need to do is learn one step at a time. Add one instance, then add 2, 3, 4, 5, slowly, right? And as we learn load balancing, as we learn elastic auto scaling, we will put them on top of that infrastructure that you have built so far. So next 5 days, your goal is to do that. This is the document there, Mohammed.
Okay.
Okay, I will put the link in there. Come on. And I will hopefully by end of tonight, I should send you guys a video. And then we will continue that remaining next Saturday, because I don't think I will be able to get the database up by tonight.
Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Okay.